Good morning, everyone. This is Dan O'Sullivan with your Bucks Island Area Fishing Report for Saturday, December the 19th, our Christmas edition. We're going to head up to Weiss Lake with Lee Pitts. We're going to hit Guntersville with Tom Mott, and we're going to talk to Josh Heron about Logan Martin and Lay Lake. Stay tuned. Find out how you can catch some more fish in your area. Good morning, everyone. This is Dan O'Sullivan with your Bucks Island Area Fishing Report for Saturday, December the 19th, Christmas time on Logan Martin and Lay Lake. We're going to touch bases with our resident Santa Claus for that area, Josh Heron. Josh, how's everything down there in Reaction Innovations land?
Busy. Busy.
That's a good
thing. Santa needs more elves.
So tell me about Logan Martin. What's happening down there?
48 degree water temperature. A little
so it's gotten a little cold.
It got a little nippy. So everybody's starting to slow the roll a little bit, but fat boys are not to play. So the world's getting a little bit better and moving on towards that January, February time. It's going to keep heading that direction.
Well, that's what you want this time of the year is you want the bait fish to start moving and the bass to start following. So how are you catching them?
Man, we want the bait fish to die. Is what we want. We need like a shad genocide. They have overpopulated the world. We need less. Less is more right now. If you roll up to a place that's got about 5 million shad, you just think about you're the only fake thing at the Golden Corral buffet. Find somewhere else to go.
Okay, so what do you recommend people doing down there in that area?
Dude, that single swim bait thing's really playing, especially for the Panoptics guys. I've had it for a year now, and I swore it wouldn't be that big a deal. I lied. It's that big a deal. Jerkbait fishing's still big. That single swim bait thing's going really, really good for shallow guys. Any of those little natural rock transitions leading into creeks off the main lake, they're still going to be a dominant factor. So, but I mean, man, what's crazy is right now the bigger fish you're catching, they're mixed in with stripers, and it's not something I've really seen traditionally.
That is a little unusual, but I do know that happens out in some of the desert lakes out in California and Nevada, Arizona, that kind of stuff. So a little tricky, but you can still catch them.
Yeah, man. I fished a lot up in like East Tennessee and all, and I mean, big smallmouth traditionally mixed with stripers this time of year. But like I said, this is the first real year I've spent with Panoptics, and it's amazing how many random fish you see 40 to 50 feet off the bank you normally fish past that are mixed in with the stripers.
So I guess random casts might be the trick of the day for someone that doesn't have live scope.
Random, not a bad idea. Any form of like steeper breaks, they're not necessarily positioning on anything long and tapering. You're looking more for those abrupt drops that are 30 feet off the bank. It seems to be where most of your bigger fish are holding.
Well, Josh, thanks again as always, and have a Merry Christmas, you and the family. Good morning, everyone. This is Dan O'Sullivan with your Bucks Island Area Fishing Report for Saturday, December the 19th. Hey, the week before Christmas, I know you're looking for some Christmas gifts wrapped up under the water, but Tom Mott and St. Jennifer, they're up there at Guntersville doing that. Tom, what's happening on the big lake?
Well, it's definitely Christmas. We can tell that. Haven't been getting too many gifts out there, more lumps of coal right now. But, hey, this cold weather's really got the fish doing what we want them to do. They're starting to group up, starting to see some fish out a little bit deeper, in that 15 to 18-foot range, catching them on a little bit of some football head jigs. And that's always a lot of fun right now, especially when you catch more than one at a stop. So, still seeing that A-rig swim bait bites are, still there, but it's just not as consistent as it has been in the last few weeks. And I think that's part of wintertime fishing. It's going to be a little bit slower, but when you do find them, they're gonna bite, they're gonna eat. I think the swim bait bite, the toughest thing right now is just finding or showing up when those fish are actively feeding. Low water temps, low 50s. The grass is starting to die out and thin out quite a bit. So the more the better that we can have for a good spring there.
So you talk about football jigs. I'm assuming you're talking some of that kind of offshore stuff, maybe around ledges again or just on the inside points. What are you looking at there?
The majority of what we're seeing are, the cuts that are coming into the main river channel, either creek channels, that kind of thing. They're making those intersections. That's where we've been finding them. But even on the main lake points, a lot of spotted bass are being caught right now, as you can imagine. But and that's something that we've seen more and more of on Guntersville here in the last few years. But they don't. It doesn't seem to bother them too much to eat a swim jig or a football head jig or something like that. But the largemouth are a little bit slower. But once you do find them, you're getting some good quality bites.
Well, and I bet you I know that every time you go around them causeways, you're having to zigzag your way through some of them crappie boats, because this time of the year with those minnows and a jig here and there are probably pretty good too. Well, Tom, as always, we appreciate everything that you do. Have a Merry Christmas, you and Jennifer and your son, and we thank you for spending so much time with us, and we look forward to talking to you again next week.
Merry Christmas, guys. Y'all have a good one, and keep those lines tight.
Talk to you soon.
All right, now. Bye-bye.
Good morning, everyone. This is Dan O'Sullivan with your Bucks Island Area Fishing Report for Saturday, December the 19th, presented by Mercury. Hey, it's Christmas time. We've got our favorite elf up there in Weiss Lake, Lee Pitts. Lee from Pitts Outdoors up there at the Crappie King of Weiss Lake. How are you and Miss Laura doing this weekend?
Ho, ho, ho. We're doing real well.
So is Santa opening some gifts for you up there on Weiss Lake out of the water?
Well, I'll tell you what, fishing was really getting better. Both bass and crappie were really doing good. And man, we've had some hard winds this week and some muddy water coming in. It's kind of slowed things down a little bit for us, but it's getting better. Water's starting to clean up. That's the biggest thing. The fish are starting to position and get in places that we could catch them, both long lining and vertical jigging, getting out there on the deeper water and catching some good fish. With that muddy water and all the turbines pulling, they pull 3 turbines for 2 or 3 days, and they just break it in between, jerking back from 1 to 2. But it makes it rough on us, that and the wind. So at least now things are starting to clear up a little bit. Crappie are starting to bite a little bit more. They're getting where we can catch them. So we're just glad to see that water cleaning up.
Well, dirty water is always bad for crappie. Sometimes can be good for bass. What's the bite for bass like up there right now? Is it still reaction baits, or are you having to slow down?
Some of the guys are slowing down a little bit now, but they're getting in the ditches, coming into some of the main creeks. When you've got that little bit of fresh water coming in, those fish are kind of staging up on the breaks there, looking for rock. You got that some rock or some chunk rock coming into some little deeper water. The fish are really getting on it. I think that sunshine's what's helping, warm that water up just a little bit. The fish are pulling up there in those rocks to get a little heat and to feed.
So let's turn to Neely Henry. What are you hearing out of the water below the dam?
It's, it's been a little tough there this week too, just because of the water that we're releasing from Weiss coming into Neely. Got a lot of current. We're getting that muddy water on out of there too, so fishing's picking up a little bit. Like I said, once we can slow that water down just a little bit, the deeper bite, dropping minnows down or taking those heavier jigs and getting out there vertical jigging has been producing some of your better fish. So what we need, once again, things are looking better. This next week ought to be really, really good down there. So you guys want to take a little Christmas vacation and get out and go to Neely and catch some bass and some crappie. This next week is going to be, I think it's going to be real, real good once these fish have been on hold, all that current coming through.
Well, Lee, as always, we thank you very much for your information, and Merry Christmas to you and Miss Laura, and we'll talk to you next week.
Merry Christmas, guys. Look forward to it.
Well, that'll do it for our Bucks Island Area Fishing Report for Saturday, December the 19th, presented by Mercury. Thank you to all of us for spending time with us. We appreciate everything that you do. Merry Christmas to all of you from all of us at Bucks Island, and we will talk to you soon.